Singapore, our home, our bustling city, our way of life. A peace and tranquility we've come to treasure and hold dear. But the hard truth remains. The peace we enjoy is never a given. Singapore's lack of strategic depth makes it inherently vulnerable and highlights the need to develop a deterrent armed force to defend Singapore's land, sea and sky.
The role of the Air Force is determined to be a force that will provide the capability to attack at long ranges, to be able to bring massive firepower onto the enemy, and therefore it's a great deterrent to an enemy.
But we had to build this from scratch. After the British announced their withdrawal of troops on 18th July 1967, one of Singapore's most pressing needs was to develop a credible force that could defend our skies. The Singapore Air Defence Command took flight on 1st September 1968 with just 2 Cessnas on lease. During the SADC years, the Air Force grew rapidly in competency and hardware. Not only did it start sending pioneer airmen overseas, it also acquired new systems, including our Hunters and our first aerial strike capability, the A4B Skyhawks. On 1st April 1975, the Singapore Air Defence Command was renamed the Republic of Singapore Air Force. 1979 marked the RSAF's transition from subsonic to the supersonic era. The first batch of F-5s arrived at Tengah Air Base. As the RSAF continued its capability development, it was always ready to answer the nation's call of duty. During the 1983 Sentosa cable car incident, the RSAF's prompt response helped save 13 lives. By the end of the first generation, with the introduction of the multi-layered air defense concept, the RSAF was able to provide a robust air defense capability for Singapore. With this strong grounding, the RSAF was ready to spread its wings and forge ahead into the second generation. This second generation was a period marked by rapid modernization and sustained expansion. It was also a period when the RSAF's resolve was put to the test on numerous occasions. In the mid-80s, its operational readiness was challenged when its A4 fleet met with a series of accidents.
Over a short span of 3 months, the RSF lost 4 aircraft. The uncertainties of such a severe impact without knowing what caused the problem was a very heavy problem for the Air Force. So we managed to pull together, overcame the problem, and continued to build from there. The recovery from the A4 crisis would not have been possible without the contribution of defense partners. As a result of that, the Air Force converted the A4 surprisingly without much of a hitch, and we had the best performing aircraft for many years until the aircraft was finally retired.
Undeterred, the RSAF emerged from the A4 crisis stronger and more capable. It ensured a high level of operational readiness by turning a public road into a runway. The RSAF continued to forge ahead with its modernization efforts. The next decade witnessed the introduction of new capabilities, ranging from strengthening its air combat capabilities to enhancing its air defense umbrella. The RSAF continued to turn adversity into strength. it spread its wings and established overseas detachments that not only allowed it to overcome airspace constraints, but also enabled its people to train with the best, sharply accelerating their learning curve. Even as the RSAF faced a series of challenges over the past 50 years, it was always there for Singapore.
The flight was a challenging one, as the airport was located in a deep valley. We ran against the odds to bring back all 90 Singaporeans. I'll never forget the scene where fellow Singaporeans came down on C-130 and hugged their family and friends. To me, it makes me feel that all the sacrifices are worth it.
Its presence was also felt further afield and was involved in counter-piracy operations in the Gulf of Aden, counter-terrorism operations in Iraq and Afghanistan, and humanitarian assistance and disaster relief efforts regionally. As the world edged into the 21st century, the RSAF needed to meet evolving threats and a new strategic landscape. At the same time, technological advances presented opportunities for armed forces to build more effective and advanced warfighting concepts. The third-generation RSAF was no longer centered around geographical air bases, but was a highly responsive force better able to exploit cross-domain capabilities to carry out the full spectrum of missions from peace to war. After this transformation, the RSAF grew in depth and sophistication. Today, the RSAF's Lion Roundel reflects its commitment to the defense of Singapore and its spirit to strive for excellence. Like the lion in the Roundel, the RSAF is highly vigilant and always on its feet. Up from above, it watches over Singapore, day and night, ready to respond at a moment's notice. Its air combat capabilities are just like the lion's sharp teeth. Able to swiftly protect our home from any aggressor. Like the lion, the RSAF has powerful limbs that generate and sustain effective, timely, and robust air power. The RSAF has eyes of the lion that can see through the darkest of nights to provide precise and timely air intelligence to the SAF. Its mighty roar can be heard across land and sea. It delivers air power that can influence land and maritime battles. But inside even the most lethal and capable lion beats a mighty heart. The RSAF's growth and achievement would not have been possible without its team of airmen and women, who are professional, committed, and competent. this sense of camaraderie that transcends generations, binding hearts and minds into one formidable force. To protect the ones we love, the things we own, and the place we call home, above all.